For many of you, I guess this will be your first taste of the Victorian Football Association. I'm sure it'll be a very tasty taste because we've got the match of the year so far. Prahran, the two Blues, Brian Taylor there, coach, warming them up, about to send them out on the ground to try and beat Port Melbourne for the first time this season. Port on top of the ladder with a 7-0 record against Prahran, who have been beaten twice. They're in third posse on the ladder. In front of Box Hill on percentage, Frankston inside the 5 with a quite handy percentage break over Preston, who dropped out after their loss this week. Preston were early season trendsetters with Port Melbourne. The Borough have continued on. Let's look at the Prahran lineup, and a feature of the VFA is that we get the lineup from the clubs that will line up in position at the start of the game, and I think that's unique. Former South Launceston player will be interest to Tasmania that Steve Maloney can't play today. He's out with a thumb injury. Tony Wilson has a hamstring. Winton goes on to interchange Parsons to full forward. Well, the coach, Brian Taylor, feels a similar commitment has been the key to both clubs' success so far this season.
What Port Melbourne are going through at the moment, they have very good team spirit and very good commitment from their players, and we feel we've got the same in that we've got a lot of amateur kids together and they come from similar backgrounds. We feel we've got that commitment and desire, and also we really do believe that we're a good side. We know Port Melbourne have got that as well, and that's going to lend its hand for an extremely interesting clash today, knowing that both sides are very committed and really are playing as units, not just playing because they're being paid and because they're footballers. They're playing because they want to be there at the end of the year.
Now, here's the Port Melbourne lineup. Not too many changes from the press team, though. Brian Steins, the younger brother of Jim, comes in for his third VFA game. He's at centre half back. Shaw goes on to interchange with Bailey. Steve Harkins will start at first rover. Well, Taylor told me he felt that Port coach Damien Drum's statement that the Boroughs hadn't beaten anyone yet was a case of Drum deliberately understating his team's performance.
Yeah, no, I said we had an easy run early up. You know, out of the first 5 games we played, we probably played 4 of the bottom teams. So that was it. I thought we've had 2 hard games in the last 2 weeks, which we've won by a couple of goals each game. So, you know, I just there's no ploy, there's no false actions in what we're saying. We're looking at it realistically. So early on in the year, we're just sort of playing at each team on their merits. That's all it is, yeah.
And with me, the usual commentary team, Philip Cleary and Sam Kekovich. We've really looked forward to this one for a while now, fellas.
Well, it'll be a great game. They're a bit of a sleeper, Port Melbourne, Sammy, and I think they can win today. They've got the speed in that midfield. I think the likes of Donald and Clohessy can really do enough work there to maybe set it up, but I will admit Prahran are a good side.
Yes, they have been, and they've done everything asked of them from Brian Taylor, and I believe that their defence can hold down, shut down Port forwards, and of course Harkins, their danger man around midfield. I think he'll be well catered for, and of course Ashley Hicks, that elusive half forward, will have his hands full with David Lucas.
Well, the game just about to get underway. The siren sounding. Ross Booth, it's a bit greasy down there at ground level.
A bit of drizzle overnight this morning, but pretty good conditions. No wind advantage to either end. And Port have won the toss, kicking to the left of the screen. Their acting captain Darren Kieran, Brett Allen and Kieran Nichols, the umpires.
Prahran looking to get it out of the centre wicket area. Of course, Prahran play in the VCA competition. This is their home cricket ground, and naturally that centre pitch area there a little bit boggy, but they get the free kick out of the middle, and the chest mark is accepted, and the play on quickly to Tuddenham from directly in front. Paul Tuddenham misses. Well, they'll think now that perhaps John Origlasso, there he is, number 7, just going out of shot, should have had the shot himself, but he fed it off to Tuddenham, the son of Des. Came to the club from Carlton. John Origlasso, number 7, who took that mark. He played with South Launceston last year in the TFL, so maybe you Tasmanians might be barracking for Prahran, given their connections in this game. On to centre wing, a little shove on Bolson there. Handball to Clohessy, who's been a good player this season. Out in front of Bruce Fox. Good running at the ball from David Lucas. Tackled well. It was Crimes that laid the tackle. Here's Oscar Harkins unselfishly squaring it to Munch. Eric Munch will shoot for goal. Should bring up a goal. It's about a 45-degree angle, but he's only 20 metres out. Kicking to the waterboard end. It's a goal. So the Boroughs get their goal inside the first minute and a half.
I think, Sam, that was an example of the pace, wasn't it? Port Melbourne there. Cunningham onto it quickly, and Oscar Harkins sending the pass across.
Yeah, good call.
Yes, Phil, and of course when you talk of the Port Melbourne Renaissance, one of the guys responsible is big Eric Munch. He's had a fantastic season, and here we see a fine tackle laid
Crimes.
by Crimes. The ball whisked away, and Harkins tremendously vigilant, great vision, spotting Munch.
On his wrong foot too, Sam.
Yes.
Getting it out of the middle is going to be important, as usual, but that little bit more difficult today, given the conditions. It's a real shame that we've had this rain this morning. Crimes just sliding over the top of the ball. A little bit of a lack of communication from the two Blues here. Cunningham got his hand in there. Oh, hit very solidly was Rhett Bowden there, and he's in a bit of trouble. Oh, and Port might be trying to do a bit of evening up there. Crimes went in with a heavy hip and shoulder. Good tackle from Joe Ahmad, and tempers fraying just a little bit. And that was the brother trying to even up there. And that's a report. Sean Bowden is going to be reported. It was his brother Rhett that was heavily taken out of play, and brotherly love unfortunately has gone against Port. Sean has his name in the book.
Yes, PD, you've called it right, and what a tough physical encounter this is going to be. Already the foundations have been laid, and when talking of Port Melbourne, dare I say it, you know, the reason why they've had lean pickings in recent times has been their lack of physicality, I guess, and their lack of commitment and discipline. But since Damien Drum's taken over, he's obviously imparted the manner in which he played and starting to bear fruit into the Borough. It certainly evokes memories of the Borough of old, the halcyon days of the late 70s and early 80s, when they had virtually a mortgage on premierships.
Laffy and ruck for Port. Yes, Bowden down is a bit of a hothead. Here comes Cameron. He's caught.
Yes, good decision. Good tackle by Tuddenham.
Glenn Kiley gives it to Tuddenham.
Just started to really find his feet at Paran after a lean start.
Just inside 50. So we'll try and settle the two Blues down. Brett Allen in charge for that report. Bit of a sideways look to see if there's anyone loose just in front of goal. There isn't. There's hardly any breeze. In the hands there of Kieran. Will come away. Bowden into Edwards. Through half back, the Borough. Under a bit of pressure. And the kick will go to McGregor.
Good contingent of Port fans on that grandstand side of the ground. Free kick for Port Melbourne. And Clohessy to take it.
It's a good even side, Port Melbourne. They've worked extremely hard. Numbers to the ball.
Well, that's exactly what Damien Drubb said before the game to me, that right through firsts and seconds, they're even. There's no real stars. They just all do the job. Luke Donald kicked it forward, taken well by Scott Parsons. Handball off to Lucas, and again, he's been dispossessed. Edwards delays the handball. Ashley Hicks hoping the ball would spill his way. Sean Bowden waiting for it, but chipping in is Aaron Martello, and wobbles it over the boundary line. And it's a 5-point lead for Port Melbourne after 5 minutes.
And that duel between Martello and Laffy in the ruck, both players in fine form. And Edwards, had he distributed that handball a little earlier, could have seen another Borough goal registered.
Centre wing. Tuddenham got one high, I thought. Harkins going in there. There's Tuddenham, number 5. Luke Donald putting the tackle on. Umpire Nichols comes in. There's Tuddenham saying he deserved the free kick.
I thought he did too. But toughest tungsten is Paul Tuddenham.
A new one, Sam. Laffy, I think, got beaten in that one. Cunningham trying to get it out. And into the back. Free kick against Probert. And he brought back. Cameron will have to bring that one back for Port. And the free to Harkins. Beautiful kick of the ball into centre forward, looking for Crimes. Just a bit long for him. Lennox a juggling mark.
Yeah, another big clash, centre half back, centre half forward.
He's a giant killer, Lennox, Sam, isn't he?
Always has the big assignment.
Spreading the ball across to Joe Ahmad. Nice kick. Tuddenham's getting into everything. Loose man, Mark Truella. He goes home. Second behind for the two Blues. It's 4 points the difference.
And two Blues have targeted Oscar Harkins as a potential danger player, naturally, and also Ashley Hicks. Harkins will be attended to by Probert, and also Carl Delena in the back pocket when he rests. So those two players have got a big